Thank you. I will call our meeting into order this afternoon. But before that, I am wondering if for our prayer time this afternoon, because our nominating committee is going to start deliberating, I'm going to ask us if we can just pair up in twos and spend some time with the Lord in prayer, thinking that the Lord will be with them, take the lead with the process this afternoon. We want the Lord to lead His church and to make very clear to the nominating committee who are the right people for the executive and also for the various roles that need to be filled. So I'll just ask Pastor Sitao if he can translate that, but we will start in prayer in twos.
Thank you. Te takatano te wadiri ka tubusi ba sina main kon kakaumen kareka tuam sina tataro bugin narawa ke bugin digite aya magurin kai kante te nominating committee ani nang wakin te yeki ngayere sa bubusi ba na rona kirun tiasu ayang ane pun te trineri na te bebere re karoya pun tiasu ana ina kairi aye yang me yakante ngan kapene ayere sa kareka tuara asa tataro ibugin te bugiana pa kante nominating committee kamdarap.
Thank you for taking the time to pray. We will now we will now table the report from our education department.
Yere kita una te mic. Are to one?
Kam na beli memory? Inang kukuray pa sabo metaran may sautay ke? I was worried that I might not have enough time, but looks like I have more than enough. Thank you for placing me at this time of the day. Right. Before we carry on, I have a question. Yeah, Sisiraki. Katipa me, raise your hand if you are an Adventist because you went to an Adventist school. Maybe not you, maybe your parents. I can see second generation Adventists, those people I went to school with. Katipa me, high up, tayo. O, niglami ka magigay na tispong pa magiriri kay. I know that myself is one, with these people out here, one, a principal from Kaume, and the new one is another one. They just don't want to raise their hands. But anyway, we thank God for Adventist education. Can we give a hand to Adventist education? Right, thank you. I also believe that you haven't been to Kaume after a long, long time. And in Mandita ito, kamsoindo ko yay Kaume another visit since you were young tong kia kamwaririk. Some of you apon suay mendro Kaume. For that reason, I've put together some photos for you to have a look at. But bear in mind what true education is. That true education is the harmonious development of the spiritual, the mental, or the physical, yan at the social. So, what I'm going to show you, kanga ekosin ka pa ni, anitira-tira ay kana awa. Okay? All right. Let's see. Hope it works. No sound. Can you hear it? Sorry, I'm no technician.
Ako na rin bukan ti na sound ti education director ti yo.
Better?
This one works.
Welcome to you. We are students of
book, we're looking at the achievements, some achievements over the last 5 years. The training was done and some developments, challenges that we are facing. Kita kaanganga ki kangarang wa teka ni run tuway. Te kakevin ako. Inarun tamakuri kay our future plans, what to do next after this, acknowledgements and recommendations. Berapa? Nami report siya itakan a new principle, replacing take a now repace. Although we are happy that we have a new principle, we've been looking forward to having a new principle, not because we no longer like TKML. Kita sa aki kukurairon, na ipugin na puntan nila, dira? Te mo sila mo tuta naman te maguri. And although sa kukurairan, I personally na po miss him, but I thank him also for being a mentor. Not only to the teachers, but to me, every time I visit Kaume, he would be there, chatting away, and kuring big things mayroon ay kamais. Ibugin te kairiri ke. Okay, na taramara achievements meant the preschools, our early childhood education. In Kiribati, you know that our early childhood education is takapani buburan reiri riyate ke yon Kiribati kapani. The number, and it is still increasing. Tapi they have to say no more. They can't take any more child by Kepo. The other thing is this: we actually feed what used to be the international primary school at the Terurupeo Primary. A lot of our students from our ECE schools are there. I remember one parent who came to complain to the ministry. How come my child yagire kinakonterurupeo? O anapui, yan ang ipupura yata. Ito ang anak ito, anapui tapon. And then Maui says, oh, but these people from the Adventist preschools, ayapui are 90 and up. So that was enough. Kaya na winto, why you get the answer. So the next time, yakarini na sinain in our schools. The other thing too, another achievement with the preschools is that some non-Adventist teachers are baptized in Gayasa ni Papisito. And we thank God for the influence of the work in the system. We used to have 6 schools, preschools. Christmas Island, Korea, Peso, Pairiki, Koropu, Yarik, Kaume, Christmas Island, 6. But now we have 2 extras in this quinquennium. We've got North Tarawa or Andre or Pondiki. I'd like us to have a look at these new schools. Both were established in 2023, 2022. Let's have a look. A few weeks ago, I was in North Tarawa. That is their Teranari, a signboard. And I'm curious, it says, the knowledge of God is the foundation of true education. And I was moved by this very simple signboard. In the village, at the rural area, people cycle and walk past it, but it tells them that that is where the true foundation of education is. And it is becoming very popular. In the last graduation I attended a few weeks back, those who came are represented in primary school, and they came with the forms to write all those people's, all their children's names to take them to their school. They love our students. And we thank God for that. This is something that I like about Tiarinipay. their connection to the community. Ayarita ki me kaintakawa ke. Tosaki mo si parents pa other people na may kora di kaya connection with the parents. For example, paintaka ko na kamnori, those play equipment sa kamnori. A father came, na konte head teacher, I can't pay fees for my child, but maybe I can do something for your school. And the head teacher, okay, ngaya. Karoy, ko pa kukunan karoy. And he came, broken tank, the big tank, green one. He cut it up. I put this slide. Can you see it? A Japanese net, fishing net, that got washed up ashore. A lot of people use it as their hammock. But he cut it up and set it up there in the ray. And the children love climbing there, crawl up, crawl down. It's quite nice, very effective, and it's very popular with the children. But that connection with the parents is what moved me most. And that's not the only one. Others bring other things to pay for their children's fees because they just love their child to attend our Adventist school. So I thank these teachers. Let's move to Andre. The other school that was established in Nawatirigi. The teachers there, they started with only 3, with 54 students, or a double. Every year, a double. Last year, 6, from 3 to 6. This year, from 6 to 12. You can see the growth pattern, okay? The students, 54 to 136 to 221. That's Andre. It's the only school that is furnished. I mean, the only preschool. At the moment, maybe in the next 5 years, we'll think of the other schools to do the same thing. Meron pa, Andre? So in summary, teachers all together in the preschools, there are 67 of them. Out of these 57, there are 54 who are church members, baptized, SDAs, and 13 are not yet. We are hoping and praying that they will one day too. The number of students altogether is 1,134. Only 99 of these students come from Adventist homes. Kaya ako kumentenan kaintiero. Nasiya kaintiero, kisipuya kaintiero. O ni kiraya, puntungan na patapunti nga. Saki kain araro. It's a lot about the work we need to do, okay? And ang kora-kora te maguri pa, nakay, they're still young, 5 or 6, kita ni Ranaban, na konte, the government primary school, pa Akiara primary school. Ngayro, the seeds, kanga your brain, kanga nang too young for the seeds to germinate, okay? Ngayro, so, ako no recommendation na nariya niya ite primary school. Kane, to add to that summary, yain kan ni kanga po nauri ka observation ibu ya riri yai kai. Kanga they have aru ya kanga kokoro from one atan na ko yai ke they stand out. Nakaginayo peso preschool. You make a way to peso preschool if you can, but they have very attractive wall displays. Anang kan na ya walls ibu ate. The other thing that I see with Beso, they have a very strong teamwork. Very strong teamwork. 2022, we had the weekend camp for all preschools on Tarawa. Nikapanikay. Beso preschool came in full force. Wangang tapon na iya sa ray, wangang tapon na ro. Asitemen nang ko ay only one had to leave because the mother got sick. the teacher's mother. But really kita men, toy ko lang warigian tapon peo. May siya kikero. The teamwork in ang kora-kora area kan peso. That's one demonstration. The other one, aringero ko talong ay kay, you know, the DPUM education director. It was during the break. Hintayin mo sila. So when we went visiting the preschools, ay upon nos, it was obvious, no students ke. Ikay yakia other schools aki. But when we went to Peso, you know what the parents at Tanreli tiraya koroy. Aposia yate, and they came with their guardians, they came with their parents, and they line up. They were there. Anang darap pa Peso. Thank you, Peso. Pairigi. Now tara-tara nga Peso. When the graduation sa Kigesan natin, Pairigi has a very interesting graduation program for their little ones. I think to me is the best. Korobu. Arami ito kayo tayo pugina kam kanwa ate rurupe haya sinamba may kay. Kamra po. Tiyari ni pay. No tarawa. Inang strong ami community connection and relationship. Thank you. Inang sigiroy. Ami classroom display. Inang sigiroy na bugi ami ate. I slept in your classroom for 3 nights. And I read what you had on the walls. And I saw the pledge, met the law, okay, and all that. And ang sigiroy. It just shows who you are, your identity. Ronita is Kaumake preschool, named after Ron Clark and his wife Anita. So we have Ronita preschool. So it's not Kaumea preschool. That's where it's located. Ay a distinctive character. Iro ngay, harang gentle. Maybe because ay sarili na parang gentle, the way they speak, the way they walk. Kana walk during graduation, kanga naman yan. They're just gentle. So if we combine all these things for one school, imagine what each school can be. Okay, let's move on to Kaumea. Era pati preschool. Sa upo yung mga kain preschool na ako web. Topon kukray. Kaumea ang kan. Enrollment. You can see in the graph and in Namipogi that the highest we started increasing at kora-kora itikiparakin te mais man 2021. This is the year we had volunteers, may kay executive, school board, church members, pastors, going to Kaumea to build the extension of the dormitories. Payakitaw the capacity of the buildings in Tatayari, okay? Or sinang desperate to have more space because yan na the threat of the COVID-19. If too many in one room, yan ang nagsigiroy. But we thank those people, yung mga mention kami, the non-volunteers in the acknowledgement. But we have been going up, except the dedicate. Kangaya ite pa katuta na. So we hope that we will not continue to go down, that we will pick up again next year. But 78 of these 415 something this year, more than 70% are non-Adventist. Okay? And more than 50% of non-Adventists, ari ka nga ikorkoran iteran tamay na tayo sa kikain tiyaro, tinahan Catholics. So a lot of Catholics will be baptized, which is very good to me. But you know what Catholics pun kahit taray kain desipong. But once they are converted, they are converted. So a lot of our young people like get baptized are Catholics. Sekarang na batiaswan nan. The baptisms, Pastor Karipa has mentioned it. The president has mentioned it. The secretary has nabantekin. But for us, discipleship in Kaumea, enang Toroy, ay yung baptisms. And like Pastor Karipa said, my concern too is Tira na enariking ka na akita na tira. Tira ke. They're still young. Form 7s are always there for the first time in their life. Only 1 year. And some of them are Papi's dog. So they come in 1 year, they learn the truth, then they go out. Eki nang natuto ay your roots. So that's my concern. And they come, aro men ay kasaki kain tisipong. So what happens when they go back to their non-Adventist homes? Some students have also voiced their desire. Kanga teki na nanuya kora ipugin. Nkai, now that sata tigwawa, what about our parents? Tira ang kanya narinig na ko ya tamera masinar. Sabo met pupusi, tipanan pupusi kada si kona napan do something ipugi ya parents. Nasipon ka nga share a little truth in your home, okay? Your behavior will be a very powerful message to your children, your transformed life. Neomani pitaki, that should preach a very strong message na ko young parents. Okay, next one. Sinanoran ka niya pass rates. People are always curious. Kaya nga ron orayarate, inkanaro kay kaume. Form 7s, story na to nga pa, they are gradually, kangay, ikikira kay tirarari, ay pass rates. And according to Ministry of Education, analysis of the pass rates, this is what they said of Kauma, that Kauma is the most improved school. And even though we are the lowest, we are climbing up. And we also thank God for that. Kanya may sisira ka mga sisira kimin. Kanya yung Form 3, over the last 5 years, kanga fluctuation, fluctuation, I have no idea what but we are trying to pogi our teachers, the trainings we have been doing. Form 5, if you look at last year, 0%. Let me just try and explain that 0%. Saksi ngay rin 0%. Many schools, almost all schools are 0% Form 5 last year. But don't quote me, but it seems to me, ngay ro, experiment MOE, change an exam structure. Episa. O ang pitaki, o pitaki na ba the pass rate? Only 68 students passed last year. 68 from the government school, a total of 68. So we should not be alarmed by that 0% pass rate. When we ask for explanation, we, meaning education directors of the church schools, okay? Myself, the Mormon, the Catholic, and the KUC, KPC, education directors, we had to look for answers to this. To the teachers, okay? At this time, but they changed exam structure. Ngayon, zero. Then they hired somebody from overseas by a karate analysis on that exam, and we were told that and that according to the recommendations, this guy, and a change on this year. So we hope that it get you a thyroid exam, maybe next year, this year's results will tell a different story. Form 6, the same old story, fluctuation, last year 60%. Okay, thank you. Trainings and developments. Ayo the first training are si attend ngay Fulton early 2022. I based on the Quality Adventist Schools framework, so that we can come and actually look at, implement these things pa o nga na sarili ako na pen nari kakira kaya the quality na nariri. That's one. In last year, inang privilege na ko na-attend the workshop in Melbourne. I reckon the Quality Adventist Schools framework mas rewrite kangaya yana version, the Pacific version. The advantage bugin nanyari sa kunangkan din kanga she owned the document, okay? Ay punarapay the document and we come back to other schools. Yakagin kaume o sina implement in tiaro sina kunan prepare ourselves for accreditation, okay? Sina suwo kiyay. Next year. This year, nanganak ko need at the Adventist Education Leadership Conference in Adelaide. And we met, can you recognize a face there? A Kiribati face, but it does not live here anymore. Yes, John Cochran, I was really happy to see him there. And that's us Pacific Islanders in that big conference to show you how big it is, more than 200, close to 300 participants. School teachers, school leaders, business managers, presidents, secretaries, and locally, the first workshop I conducted was in 2022. I had to share what we learned at Fulton, the Quality Adventist Schools Framework Workshop, based on the quest for integrity. I by emphasize the Adventist identity in an ethos in everything. Kanga tiar menan tiaro are sinatagi ngay na kain ti sipong roy. There are practice, there are anwan meura. And also in everything that we do, the way what we do outside the classroom, mate, and also our identity in Kapanitap. And in the workshop, more trainings later. We even had the stewardship business manager from here went with me there. We conducted different workshops for the teachers. And we even did the teaching of English to speakers of other languages, for especially English teachers. Ikaw I talk about there's more need now, looking back and reflecting on the trainings and hearing the teachers and what they say. The English teachers need more training on this, how to teach English to the Kiribati students who don't see the need for English. Kaya, from the beginning until the end, until the sunrise and sunset, they don't see the need. Now, that the exam is in English. So, the recommendation that Kaumea will have to use English at all times. This year, during Easter, our education director, TPUM, came. I introduced the QA as PR in Melbourne for accreditation. And I think our accreditation will be, when he asks me, how about next year? Maybe next year. Teachers, we have a lot to plan for, okay, with your new principal. Let's move forward to the future from now. All right, developments. I've mentioned at the extension, sorry if the pictures don't really show, but that's what happened. The girls, the extension only for the Form 7, okay, Form 7 boys and Form 7 girls. And we also have now a maniaba for the girls. And they now have their own volleyball nets there and badminton. They're quite comfortable. but they're still sleeping on the floor. Another development is the Form 7 block, Form 7 classroom, four classrooms, 2 staff rooms, far ends, and a ablution block at the back. Okay? Which is not completed yet, but we are using the classrooms and the offices. The ablution block and toilets, etc., to stop the students from going to the dormitories, okay? During school time. So that is the answer, a solution to that when it's done. Challenges? Every time I go there, you know, there's always going to be a teacher, maybe more than one teacher, coming to see me in Kawaray Bugin ay house. Can you come and see our house? I mean, I'm no builder, but I know why they come and see me. Patira na rin ako ng mouse. Kanay ka nga, pakataka eh. Eraran, okay? I get wet when it rains. Okay, we'll pray about that. This is one of the staff homes. Okay. I think this is probably the worst. I spent 2 nights sleeping with this lady, and now sharing just to feel what it's like sleeping in that kind of house. No door when, okay, you sleep there. Okay. And when I was on my stomach, the door was open and hey, and what about your door? Oh, nataro yaginin. It's okay. It's only the small dogs that come in and go out. I feel sorry for this lady. She's a widow. She's a cook, and they sleep. I mean, sometimes they have to wake up early again and start cooking at 3 o'clock. But anyway, some students managed to fix a little bit of a house so that where there is no wall, some kids who often come and see the lady for food decided to fix the house on their own. This is like a permanent house. You can see it's a permanent house, but it's got corrugated iron there for the window to block the rain, to block other things. It just, almost every house needs renovation. At the moment, it's only the principal's house that is being renovated. Announce the principal. The principal. So with the new year, when we go back, the principal will have a renovated house. But the rest of the staff, sa kainanwa po kami, kanakam ko nanda. Ami po po, kanakam ko nanda. So many homes. But I know that in the accreditation, one of the how we look after the welfare of our staff and students. If we don't do anything like sinapen warrior karapu in the accreditation. Classrooms. One of the challenge, the classroom. In 2022, kamuring nga, urara ke na classroom kaumake, the fire. The block kapen. The computer lab in there, the admin offices in there, and classrooms. In response to that fire, UNICEF donated our tent. One of the tents, if you can see it, the students having classes in the tents. It's not the floor, they put the sand. When it rains, it's not comfortable at your feet, okay? You carry sand. But that is the condition at the moment, yeah? Ikaw man. We have a plan for replacement. I think recently has approved the design from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Yeah? So we've got the plans back, already approved. The costing, about 800,000 for materials only, for construction. 800, that's almost $1 million without the cost for labor. So that's going to take us even higher, closer to $1 million. But where is the money coming from? I know a little bit is there from the Ranari, MS something. And the government has pledged 20,000, but that's all. Not enough. So we are going to do fundraising, don't worry. We just need your donations. Thank you. So Anangan, the response to the fire. In relation to that, other people also responded to that, but we will talk about that later. Another challenge, the last one, the students. You know, they in the pictures here, they look very sweet and harmless, and anong notera, but I tell you, today, anong kokoro? Teachers will run after them, chase them on their motorbike, looking for them. Itandrage, anong campi itandrage. As the pomate, they have already lost their interest in education. Okay, remember that when our students, we take anyone who wants to come to Kaume. Unlike other schools, criteria. You must, yampui mayeta. And I may no. For Kaume, we take anyone. High or low. The majority are low. Ganaro ko ya, ikaw me. Some, when I ask one student, okay, so where were you last year? In this school. Okay. And what brings you to Kaume? They didn't like me anymore. They didn't accept me back. Oh, then you have a second chance. Thank God for Kaume, for the second chances, okay, that we give to these students. A lot of them actually, in their transformed lives, and then they managed to get a scholarship later. But, teka nga ngayon tekay, aro kami te open, tani mo imenging, kana celebrate, ikay, usually when they finish, ayara, exam, amenging, okay, and then they take that culture from their various homes and schools, nakukaume, which is very different. We don't, sagi kariyaya, maguriyagay. It's not our practice. Ngayari, at may siya tayo kakapanyagi, inang mais. Tinitigay rin ako, tibuwatapon. Tinitigay, kanibuwa. It's a concern never for the Ministry of Education, for the government. Every time we are called to have a meeting, one of their concerns is the completion rate. The completion rate, ariana po suku until Form 7, and then they reach the end of Form 7, then they leave the education system. And then target the Ministry of Education. But us, no. Yes, if the students want to stay in Kaume, obeying all and keeping the standards of the church and all that, Nakanagi, we can't, and I have to always apologize to the Ministry of Education that their desire for the completion rate at Form 7, we cannot always meet that, but we can comply and stand at the church. They should know, ang kanaro ko, akete manging, akete the drug, akete copen, akete. But when they do those, we have no choice but to kapaniya. And Moe knows. So from here forward, what are we going to do? We have challenges. Man the classroom, no yate, no ngayon sa takoy na pa the fundraising will help a little bit. Ang ko na annual starting from this holiday. So if you people are around, come and see Kauma in the concerts and all that, ipugin te karikiman. For classroom renovations, staff housing, other needs. Yeah, taking up at this time, karapain kami in advance. Ipugin na mi popog. Because she believe the good diet, okay? In the kitchen we serve dal, mostly dal for protein, combined with greens from the garden and other things like pumpkin and eggplants, but are fruits enang waririke. So I thought we should go into planting fruits. There are 2 fruit trees that I know grow well na baykay, apart from bananas. The one, the papaya, or the other one, the dragon fruit. I know they grow well because I grow them too. We harvest our dragon fruits and we harvest our pawpaws. And why don't we have the same thing? The boarding school, and provide them. And if we actually grow a lot, it can become an economic venture. Because there are lots of hotels there. I know when Talong and them came, okay at the fruit. I went to the kitchen, yaya mi wani kay, okay mi papaya, okay oh ngaya, okay riga mi wani kay tiakag to, okay oh ngaya. And I thought, oh, then we can provide may kauman. Another plan from next year on, we're looking at what you can see now is a dining hall. Under the dining hall, during the exam, that's the setup for the exam. Okay? But what happens during meal times? Okay, where do the students go? They eat outside. And the exams can go on for more than 2 weeks. So the students eat outside for more than 2 weeks as well. Form 7 can last, the exams can last for 2 weeks. Okay, pari one exam, 1 day. And I felt sorry for the students walking down. Kamamara ken kay, under the trees, I looked into the dining area, set up for the exam. So I thought a hall would cater for the exams and leave the dining hall for the students. So they can eat properly and apply their table manners.
Thank you to our education director. I'm going to ask if you can wrap up with your recommendations.
Yep.
And then we'll table the report.
This is our last one, and then we'll go to our recommendations. Signboards, our identity, that's very old. Okay? I thought we should be like the other schools. Look at Beulah College there, Betikama. I think we should change our signboards to align with what's happening in the region. Acknowledgements. The late Ron Clark has been a friend na konti Kaumel, the Maniapa, the Form 7 block, I can't begin to count them all, but we thank him with a wife, and I think he came once with a granddaughter. The preschool, Mayanap. CCK, for donating the 2 sets of computers, one that went up in the fire, and another set after the fire. MOE Educate, for the books, the resources, the dictionaries, other books, and we are hoping to get some computers also from them. Yeah, the computer lab, SYT, on its way. thanks to MOE. MOE also pays the salary for 12 staff. That saves a lot of money from the school fees. And also pays grants, which actually solves the collection of fees problem. Chinese embassy for the desks and chairs, a lot have been broken, Pariak is suitable to our size, but we thank them also for that. TPUM, the screens, Denangan preschools, and the Bible, Abide Bible for the teachers from TPUM as well, Arang Darapa. The volunteers, Maikai, thank you also for your help. Korea, I'd like to mention Korea. Korea is the only church to volunteer to build EKK. We thank Tapes Tarasera and his team. They came all the way by speedboat. And finally, I'd like to thank the headquarters, our leaders, Ikai, for the support in the Adventist education, covering expenses where I had to go, and all that. Recommendations, a primary school, like I've mentioned, if we are taking already, so many. Not staying long enough for the gospel to grow. English, I've mentioned earlier too, ay pugin nare enang ipon kami natuagi te kapongonagin te teten metangi kaki. Ang kanete annual retreat ipugi sariri. O to sila include na batanan ECE teachers. In conclusion, or finally, Kauman needs a counselor. Because of the kind of students we get, we need a counselor. Someone who can support their mindset or to help change their mindset, and someone who is a committed church member. In conclusion, I know we are indebted to God for all the blessings He has given us over the last 5 years. We wouldn't have been able to do what we have done without that. The teachers and the support staff, thank you. Our donors and supporters, the parents, and those who are going to attend our fundraising activities. Finally, I'd like to close with this text. Joshua 3:5, it says, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. May we do this every day. May we sanctify ourselves every day as we work for the next 5 years. Kamrapa.
Yeah, let's give her a hand. Thank you. Would you like to move the adoption of the report?
Oh, yeah, I can move. Me to move. Okay, I move that we accept the education director's report for the last 5 years.
Thank you. Do we have
Yeah,
a
I can
seconder?
second. Oh,
Thank you. It's been seconded. Now we'll open the floor for discussion or questions.
Ay rarapate education director yaw kingkay te maruro ibugin te report sa resan nang kanaya misisirak.
Takawowa te classrooms o takatianua tanan students, may future plans. Sa taya pa, men kakwawa pa, kaume. Puninga yaroy. Tita po ni kapope. O, tita po ni kanako, ni kawa. Ares ko na Noria. Pa hangina. Ay karigin kay patanan church members. Apanin nako. May kaume. O ngay timen na. I'm proud and to put privilege pa ere keu tay pa nariri na tayo. Toy tau ba bunay kay tanan challenges. To na kun nerobis. Ori gina kun de mga tab tayo. Pa tira na ron. Eskona ekonani yang oye de mga tab. Ibugin ka kay tarakin o puwakan tanan kangangay kay. Sa daya bangkan iti metua ti kangangay o totuwa na titay o na po ni kay nakera reirein kanaro na pa kuna kanati metua atin mo yung apuaka yakitaw ayatapo at the classroom o titapo ni mesu hindi taki metaan reirei. Tirangi ako natin ng wataboyo. Ni ko na. Ni meroro akin na. Nitatayayo. Patirana. Ay ako na lang. Inanon na meroro. Titairekta. O tiyagin na tuwan at tiyapa makoro. May kuriya. Ariro ko na nga payna. Ibukin to pa akin. Tuta na takangangam. Ngayray kasmenay kay mararari kikain tarawa. Sa daya basmais. Tiraan kiya ko na andeke. Aron narang Amerikaway. Eskunaan karoya. Yataya. Ay kakwaway pa. Ipo na ko na nun. Timeng matab. Ay ipo na bento ni Mekayo. May yataya ba ito na may pokon kanuan si Sebe School o yay takatipuy metinua no free yakataya pa kani kuna hindi kintiyang ayo pas na kuna na ba nikatan na kuwa ngayon kain Kiribati mission es nakarigyan na ito na may pokon tatipuy metinua Sebe offering the Sebe School. Pa tuwa na, arapo ka na beskonan ka na kwa. Na kun tiriri yayo. Yakaskway kay pati meroro. Nga naro na pa, iko na. Inayayangan na. Awang aroy na. Me kanuan na namak. Me na kay ni Pere. Tit CPUM. Naron na mikos, ari kam nakarikira kente tayayo. Stauroy, inteiray kimi. Kain kaume, na mi karikira. Kambesin rap.
Thank you. I would like to just take this time to thank the member for your concern for Kauma. I think she's raised something that if we all pull together, can make a big difference. Eh? Can I just ask how many of you here went to Kauma? Studied at Kauma? Thank you. I think the suggestion from the sister is a good one. I just came from the Fulton reunion, 120 years last week. And you know, Fulton has just built a brand new chapel. Cost them 3.7 million. That's Fijian dollars. But they also, the alumni also build, Fraser, I think there's about 5 duplexes for married students. The different missions have the alumni, former students have pulled together to fund those buildings. So I think what our sister is saying is true. You have a lot of former Kauma alumni right throughout the country. How can we capitalize on that? You've also mentioned about the 13th Sabbath overflow offering. Talk to the union as well about when is the next round. I know in the last round, it was Papua New Guinea that was the recipient for that. Yeah.
Rang darabati anatabe ti menati ti delegate may tarawa. Buti yang orang kakao kerang siroy, orang tamero. Ayong kan dia kakinya ngari puntang iri dan kapene pasinapenin. Bosi nanura me. Kora bukin ti ada diri ya kau me. Derun tuan ada yakin atu wayu. Angin angkai tenanau sin meka ke ayau sin meka aten diri ya kita nantang ai Fulton. Apun penin katia ki maintenance mission ke me the mission rabatan are tenan te diri ke asan dinanun Fulton. Tokora ke asan diri Fulton na abosi to yaman itu tanah kora itu tanan buto ka katian te tenanau sa kan area pun tatan ako ye yausin te toromon ye yausin Vanuatu kan anak roka ye kan te Tahiti PC ere kan ane takabuta utawan ay bukin na ba tiang ani bubu kare sinakonan nang ana pa bukin kaumen te tiaroan irarap.
Just to clarify about the 13th, the Sabbath school offering, I didn't mean the 13th Sabbath, but any weeks, either maybe the 6th or the 7th week of the 13th Sabbath, then if it's possible and if it's aligned with the TPUM, that we can do as what's iotane. Are kan one day that we met in one tabes may nanunay kaya the one may pokon that we the remaining 12 weeks to the to ano 1 week kita ta kay 1 week o to sa kuna ni koroya ni ang kinaan ni kanaro na pa nakariya ti CPUM.
Maybe I'll get one of the treasurers if they can comment on the offering. Our sister is asking if there can be a special offering for Kauma. That's what I'm hearing. That's local to Kiribati mission.
Thank you, Chair. I remember in the past years where offerings were also collected for Kauma, and there were designated dates for offerings for Kauma. So I think along the way it stopped because we have not seen those offerings came through for Kauma. But if we are to, this is a decision that the new executive can make. You know, we can refer at this floor. We can refer this matter to the new executive to appoint or to have the dates for special offering. That can be done. The general offering that we encourage is the combined or the one basket offering system that the church has. But if the church in Kiribati or the mission wants to support its school, it can make the decision to collect that special offering on certain dates. I think that's that's my comment on that. But I can remember that it's not new. In the past, special offerings were also collected for Kauma School. But it stopped because we have not seen it continue. We haven't seen the offering come through. So I guess this is probably, they wanted to, to start again. And that can be organized, but Mr. Chair, I'd like to recommend if this matter can be referred to the new executive to decide on. Thank you.
Thank you, Fraser. I think there's a lot of wisdom there. If I look around the room while the presentation was going, it's clear that we are all concerned about Kauma, eh? Am I correct? Hands up if you want Kauma to do well. Thank you. So the recommendation that's coming from the treasurer is a wise one. And the recommendation is that these concerns about the future of Kauma we delegate it back to the new executive that will be formed. And we say, and basically what the session is saying, please, this is a priority for us. Can you look at the best ways so that we can help Kauma? Because if we sit here, we don't have the time to come up with how, eh? Is that clear? Are you happy with that? Okay, my sister that was talking here, are you happy for us to go with that? You happy to move that? Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. So it's seconded, eh? So now I will ask if all in favor of this proposal here, if you can raise with your cards, please. Thank you. So let me repeat, and I will get Pastor Sitao to translate again. So what we are saying is, yes, we are concerned. We want Kauma to do well. But we are asking the new executive to please give this priority to look at how we can help Kauma improve. And that will take into account your suggestion of the alumni, whether the offering, what the treasurer is saying is true. Eh? The whole world church, we are moving away from itemized offerings. We are moving towards the one basket. So we are teaching our people to be faithful. Give your offerings, and then the mission, the 50% that's collected by the mission, they can allocate it where the needs are.
Ayarara po ito pa yasan Korea gani kayo pati recommendation na konti executive are nang diniyakin te tayo ang kanda na rin nanon te bubusi pa yanarian karimwaki mo kinwan bayaki anawa kay nanon Kauma bayaki kang asan manibya kinanon te tiribos ore tabi kena bete te mana te delegate may taraw. Tekang ano na ba mayra kita jadi kita na Kauma sinakunan na ben yang oya batira sinakunan na nga bukin tridi naron to te offering kita tiang aris kunan ibubuke bukin ra ari Kauma rarap.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments about the report?
The chairman, the director and the education director kan memoria. You can take the opportunity ayon karabaraban minta yan dipos sa resongaramen na dipos Kauma o kanga pongaramun dipos may Kauma o kanga irang tangga tay bobo. Ngay sagna bete menet ex Kauma. Na sikan siya patira aron nara ararire ba hindi katuli kare tana next. Karena kita kangen dari teks de tanan classroom kita tanan house kan teride ya kan aku panana ya tanan next ingin kita kwa kiride kwa kikain na tiaro
Makwasan day ke yako pun swanga kinabete ate kangate fundraising o te contribution na kun te bai gari kin day. O yo kanga kya na ba gaso no man ka intero ari gari ka karo yai tanan renovation. Na yo kan ne re kenare pun mai ro ya tanan next. Ari apen in swanga o nga yang kan na fundraising na ben nga kuro te mai sarian ari gain nga kuro ipikin ta kanga ari e kainanwag. Ayang kani ko sarakin de tayo yo pa ikan karaja batuan na bete option ne ekonan karawa kinte kare sa yo sa tayo ba nang sirawa yasan de kau me ne aki aki me nai nanon te kare sa sibun ko na ben reach out na ko yon so anya na bete kangang pa itak wa bun na no yan na yare de awa kya tang da ta pa kwasan dikira ke yai ba to ena pa ka na fair ke naira ayare kanaro na basikunan recommend kai pasina karawati fundraising are ngai ra kan checks kau me inga kita sa ki kan jer wa ki me na non jero me na swanga kyo ane na beto wana re na kona nuwa ko ande kite man ipukin kai taran na ara re de yare o sa ta yang kana ko kumakuri ke yo nong orare nang kana no kawa ke ya stani makuri o kanang ke kupon me kan mingam kupon tangja ba ko na minga roy ko roy ako na ni makuri roy kana ko minga roy ang kana sinatara yara sama ko di kay sinariya na bentara ay welfare kay patiraro ya tiraro ni mga ngaya taka wang kani mga aro yara harate kay sa noria nare wawa ya wiki na mara kay sinani ko ayarang kanya kaya karawa kaya na koya o aki ka treat na giroy at tayo nang kakawa ko na riyan treat na giroy Nakakin na riyan namarakin dito po namarakin kanaki anak kami nakin temania pe kito tekse amere ya karawakin temania hanga site tesisira ki bugin nai nta bita ito iri ke ya te ya ko konani me na sinak ne akaki yari pare hanga a ko tapia kinaki na ro yari karawaki o kanga ngai ina no kawakin nongora te kan ne akaki nari yari uwa ya wigin nagi takataka na ya kain takataka na ya taipura pami na isinanu o agyan nega yara ekonan provided menteride o sinapusiya na peteride kana ako na nabe ni konsita yo pa kana nang tapia kina pero ayate ay o ata ki ba man nanu akin pain ka penyo o ana karawero ide paren kana ko ataraya pa kita tapia kina gon tapita yo ko nande geria akarawate meawak pare iya kita tararuan ako yang ayare sinapupusi pa roido yara te keke kanga seta yana beba Yakit ugitira ta ka bebe ni dire nung araran tin diri po serang dio era eka beniak ngayari sinabubusin ka na ako nan ang taw recommendation na konti na imay tayo bangane ako nan karikiya kito ti departmentary kang taw rehabilitation departmentary an ako nan mga councilor na kyate ya kika ngay ta ka ngay do ya ay na mga ako nan ne aki ka beniak meera Akapenya kaya tayo na kung narito requirement narito Form 7. Kanganya re, ikan tabigan tayo yo, iyang kangayo ro ayari. Kana ikarawa kiraw yo na ko tanan rules in the school na ko na ro in apply na ko yate kay nakana kiraw ngayari aki na ako na nera. Yaki ko na nuwe ki ko na nare ko karawa pa ko nang kasuwayo yaki we ba ibigina ba ya karawa kiro teman step bariya na riya treat na kiro teman tay awayo are kang inang kakawa kya sinariya ni ang oyo taka baniari ki kang ara kang ano pa sinariya ni pon pogi ramo kana ya rakangan ko ni nanon na are kare sa sinapon dia mo ni pogi ra imay na sinakon na o sinagi dependent dera iro ya kan sinanu Sinapon dia mo antara ira tirara ko na bay tira ko ra sugunan pun karawa yai kinuputo ka kin kato kata kangangari nare kare sa di kintarakin nararire sinakakayangan fundraising tira pa ya kita na opportunities funding opportunities sare asir na ko nan tap o sinapon ko na nabi ang aitan karawa ang kanayo asipon karawa ina warire tira timara ran buka kira pasinapon kiberira mo imay nero ko buka ra may sinanu Akang nga te nga no te bubusi pa tira ke wota ki pakanwan na yakay ni beide ka indira te kun kinim te nimewan iti kay mai tayo ira pa.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please just keep in mind we have already made a decision about Kauma. So if we want to talk about anything else in the report, this is a good time.
Mr. Chairman, I come from Kauma. My name is Kes. I don't have much to talk about. Anyway, thank you for giving me the chance to voice my concern about the place where I come from. I want to thank everybody who have shown their concern and their care about the school. I think the school needs a lot of help. And it's the only school in our mission. And it will be a shame to see it, crumble, if you can use the word. I don't see it as that, but I wish that the school is, plans are made so that the school is a better place to live. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, for me, when I reflect on the 6 years where I worked at the Trans-Pacific Union, Kauma was and still is, according to this report, the biggest evangelistic tool that the Seventh-day Adventist Church has in Kiribati. So it's obviously doing something good, and we thank God for that. When I reflect on the Education Director's report, and I see what's happening with the early childhood centers, now we have 8, and more people are coming to us. We have something good to offer. The Seventh-day Adventist Church, we have the highest number of institutions around the world, only second to the Catholics. The Catholics have been around for more than 1,000 years. We are only 160 years old, and yet we are doing well. Our delegates today, let me share with you, all around the world, we are facing similar challenges with education. I have worked in New Zealand, now in Australia. What's helping them is that the government are giving a whole lot of funds to help operate the schools. But if the government pulls all of that support, we will be really struggling in some of these areas. So, look, we all here, and I think the action that we took clearly will share with our executive that, please, this is an important priority for us. Let's see what we can do so that Kauma does not crumble. That's our collective prayer. At the end of this, I will ask us to go into another prayer season, asking the Lord to show us what is the best way forward. If the alumni is one of the answer, Lord, please go ahead of us and show us how. I told you about Fulton. During the lunch that we had after we opened the chapel, the different alumni came and collected 55,000, contributed. But I believe, Fraser, that the alumni that Fulton, they just resurrected the alumni in the last, 3-4 years. Elise, you were the former business manager there. I think we are just scratching the surface of the Fulton alumni. But I'm just using that as an example of where possibly we can end up. Having said all that, I think we have a lot of things we can thank God for from this report. The early childhood centers, we also want to acknowledge the hard work of Master Tekemau. Master Tekemau, for those of you from Kiribati, he's just Master Tekemau. For those of us from outside of Kiribati, he's a legend. I remember when the church was praying for him when the boat got stuck somewhere near Papua New Guinea. And how many times? He's known all around the place. And Siraro. Siraro was my church member a few years ago. I think I had a little bit of hair back then. And Siraro was a church member at USP. I thank God that Siraro and her husband, Gibson Gallo, have accepted to come back and help the work in Kauma. And just the last thing I want to add about this. You know, early this year, I went to the highlands of Papua New Guinea. Very remote. The roads were really rough. And when we came to the highlands, we have a school there called Paglum, Seventh-day Adventist School, high school. You know what? It's no fancy buildings. Everything was really basic, but they topped the country. In a big country like Papua New Guinea, 12 million people, our school topped the country. And I asked the principal, what is the secret? And they showed me. Paglum, you know how we have a computer laboratory in most of our schools? Paglum has a Bible laboratory. And they have a prayer garden as well. And the principal said, this is our secret. Just from reading the Bible, it enabled our students to do much better as well. Eh? So point taken, my brother. We feel, I wish I was a millionaire to just write a check now and help our school at Kauma. But remember, we serve a God who started our schools, and he knows how to find our way through into the future. Eh? Yeah. Any other questions or comments about this report? We'll go here first, and then we'll come to you. Eh?
Rabat the chairman. Sekai tahu hari kita teri bos ndai yo orang kokongora karena no kawak ya kakukure ya kawa ya kita kin terari kita meru ke. To auman point semua yo terari de ada tenan preschool ke. Sekai kawa ba menteri bos yo orang sikiroya na ya keke ya kira preschool na nararo ka kakor. Sekai kawa na be aswa irang dari to roi ara church to ya ba makoro ay kana ko na benti do ya preschool kana yeso tau ke yai inanon te plan kana aro na pa ako na ni boka ki de ay ka hasba katayan dare ni bobera ke ay ka to me yonda berik dinanon katage ni karo ko ki na ko na yasan ro yonda dare tarawan te tayo tawane to wana yonda dare te preschool andona kina yon te preschool ayay bega sasan nori nanon jeni mewan di kai kana ko to ya kataya kana ta bon singai ndaro me yai sinori apa yai yana events tenan preschool ta bewa ai kana preschool de kare san ka spong ai karina kina nona te culture day ngai bonda no noria akia buren na yo me te baya si yaro me yai pa are ne ka de kai na mai sadaya ba dia karesa apon dia inagi kau ngaka de kai ba na rai dia ana dia inde inagi te mai ngai te mena jakaro ai re na sun de preschool kana ye de culture de ni akin na yo na mena de spong ay pon naki karko ay ki me to de bubusi kana sagi megeta te bebe ay bugin de ire kai ato ena bondo gidi ka na konna na skupo te ka se to wana to na tirange nora teacher ayo ki bana ki ka nga ki ate kai pa ana mai kana haruna ba na ye te ko chuti to ane kana igona rigin de sina ko ane do bugin tirare te preschool tsaka uwang kanya sinorian diri boss ay na bede tsaka tara bukin dirare te karawakin te primary bayangan na re eresin ako roy yan rare yana to na anarire te karesan ka spong mente dirare may ina na karoko to the university awayo te to wana ta kantani nga ay ta ko ba ngay na ko warang tamero bayangan na continue roy ya rare ya silibas te kay seksi na nun tirire may na nun na betera te waki Johnny Mac si nga ngay na wideray silang boto ka ta kanta ni nga na tani te are minang kane kana sero kon te tsaka warina ni kene kine sente kine ka me ko wa da ena suku te kan to ta na yo me ikan ka na te tirare te to wana ta kanta ni nga amon de sigiroy kana aro na ba na kona na ni bobo kina kona na isu ka me ke ye ba yara na ba the score card ke de ba yo ye awa ana sekta ke ede gnek de ba yo ba konaria imon satisfy mo de mon meina ke am tahan makuri anare imon bu ka tan makuri impa yo ngan ma kau kari te mataro are ni na ke kana steg ni tan makuri asina no kawo kin no na yaus naroyan ni meka ya na yaus yare jere ke idari kinare anare nangana ki roi te training at amero ba yon ne sikiroi ya performance ne besare ire ke are ne ben taragi ni kaina no yeri kita bewan naron muyangai ya ba ne ne ben tararoi awana meka roi ne be ana mesu roi ba yon ne ana nga ngare ire te bonga re mina enang na roi ne be yara ya ngare ire ke ndonagi ndegina ki me aru ya tan makuri naron ka to bakin roi kaina no ya ba yon ne akonan perform atira ki akonan ben taragi ngarabe be gidi kin taragi jere ta be wona roya to sare ire ina ben de janan preschool ke nyaka kinan ke sinagna be maninga ara misinare ke na kon ndeire idi ki to ya to ai futun naran na sata ya ke so ngoti ngoro ngona be ya kaina no na ke si tirange akonan be ndin na be yo ibo kon na be tirare akang to arayang o ni katauman ni katamero akiba misinere gay kana bere nuki asila mga bere na benda ndere meiro ya ki kana si buki na yakanga na yawagi ni kamete pai ena bono sina kona be me aya kamete pai ya mon tamero ba ya suku itiran na ya yang ore na tabe bukin to meu yan de bong to wana na to ndona ki me ane kan karabe beri kita kan tani ngare cakari kira ke ai bugin te tere ya kaume anaron ne asan de kina kyo yei tenan alumni group ke ai bugin na mirong rong yei na bang aira ya skate ya ai bugin te terare teriri ke wo wa tanga to wana na kon wo wa tanga isu ke acakan tani kai ba Tokora ke kerere inaron teriri ka yo angko angai ya sinaben dinna onon teriri naron te group ba yo ani kari kira ke ani mengo kira kaume nang aris konane karoy ke meterangi konan dege narayang on tab meni dan kapene ba sinama ngapon ka tera ba jaka gini guru buan ke anak konan ben to paki ake agi re kaume merorum ai kana ko gire kaume me kain telo cingki yari korea ina ben dinna oi bokon to guru ba yo ni bobo gini agi nan kana aro no ba ina ben anom ra ni kani bobo gina kon na waki ni kari kira kira betrare tere sa kai tau yari ke kiasan karawa de tepuk ai bugin wadan de spanga aman caka kawak asa kisi bugin kiribes mai bugin nebera kabutan te wang keri ate aginan te wang keri harap
Thank you. We'll go to our sister down the back there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Education Director for her report, very comprehensive report, challenging and for us to think about. I have the same points with my brother there on the primary school, which is one of the recommendations the Education Director proposed, because we have, in their reports, we have 200 something students at schools, and when they finish their preschools, they have to go to other schools. So if we continue to have those kids in our institution to teach schools, I'm sure they will have a stronger foundation for SDA beliefs. And I propose that the primary school should be established in this concunium. And for your information, Mr. Chair, we have retired school teachers, primary school teachers, who can be utilized or can work for this school. That's all I can say, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm just wondering, because we have also seconded the receipt of the Education Director's report, and what you are highlighting, would you like to add that as a further, that we look at the recommendations that she has brought up in the report? Is that okay? Because the primary school is part of it, eh? Are you happy with that? Okay. Can you explain, please, Pastor? So what is to accept her report. This is a further that we also look at the recommendations that she's giving in her report, which is what she's talking about. Okay. It's clarified before we move it.
Ngani yena pa kanuan ti tuwa tanong kon ti executive ariasen tekina ko yeri mga spaki don ti menan beti sa ti may taraw men ti executive ti recommendation kan enro ko yu nakarina ki ana recommendation ka pen ti education director na repose pa inakutak na kon ti executive ari po wari nang teke ayari nano na napusumaya ka na repose ti sa kanong the repose ti education director na karina kingane ti recommendation ari ti executive committee na noria men daraya ba tira anangan ibubukin kakuribukin kandani nga kiyasan tepeka kin ti repose ti tayay. Mata ke nano na recommendation ka pen ti education director ka yana pen ka dinak pa tinan wota na kon dokumento ba na enari nanonan ka pen. Ere ke mata ke rarap.
Okay, can I just add something else? The reason we are referring to the executive is so that the executive, their job is to look at the whole running of the mission, yeah? Taking care of our operations, our churches, and the whole operation. Eh? And then they will have to sit down and look at it. Okay, this is the desire of our people. What's the best way we can go about it? And they might have to prioritize. Stage one, this we will do. Are you following me? But that's our homework, so that we don't want to rush and do something and then we end up next quinquennium with the same challenge that we are having right now. We just created another issue for ourselves. Eh? Okay. So she's moved it. Do I have a seconder? So she's moving a further to the report that our education director has given, and that is that the executive look seriously at the recommendations that are coming from the education director's report. We clear? Eh? Okay. We've had more than enough discussion. Maybe I'll ask someone to pray, and then we will vote. Maybe we'll ask, can somebody give the microphone to Master Tekemau, if he can say a prayer for us, please.
Angaya sa kabugarag morat taratayak. Marate tu sekarabakon. Ipain kakane ke sesenora. Kau ma am ready. Ako no rin ano rin kapede. Ipukin ready ya. Kau ma na pandam ready. Sigo to well. Tayan bapay de. Tayan yang okay karaw agi pukin nam ready. Spesiko. Pa enadinanuak. Executive po tirik ay kanina way kay may tayan recommendations agasan karaoke bugin nam ready and anora ki kwawana tamarwana ayesina kay enapundia in wakinak abes kanga ngatuya ay kakonodia ibugin ready ma sataya pa kupunta utakan tayo na ang kanay iya yan ang magulitatan na katayan uwat 3D sa tayo ba kupunta ka na kain tayo na ko ayari na pugusin tabo ngayon kung nakapaya 3D kapaya tan 3D kapaya ta principal ay po menayron at ko na gagasan tawray nangananoy ani kan makuri kay ang kanaki makuri kay matawray ni kanibubuk siguto ay makakapaya yan kapan kapaya di administration na Kiribati mission Wokia panang karawat tatay ano tangri atuwa pa nakarawa ki ibugin teridi Wonoria tay ay karoko sa gatain tero atay ay kakakoro mewya na namakoy tangira kukunahan bisi mewya ni kapen Koponoria na ba tayo makuri ikay Kribati mission tayo makuri sinanuku natay ni kapan kaya po sinakong kay kaya aman nikita na terede yay to kawa menayroya to as sigo na ako nakakapayaya pana udi nga ade kwakan mangok to as sigo nakakapayaya ni kapan kaintero ang aniya tinanon kan buka amdiri apes kanga nga ika adinanuaki terede agya yagi konan ndege kaya kaya puni menterede na sa tayo to pa kokona katawroy pa ni kapan kokona na pen karoy pa ya kokotangin kakabaya kain decision na yo menairuya na kaya kairiri kakabaya na kakabaya na persistence kakabaya na ba persistence may the union secretary element division kakabaya na tani mane kaya ornament the union mena na bairuya to sigo kay kau ma pun si tuan Sigo makakapay nako yatan di tahan mo ko di. Awate di kasan dinanon di. Amat tangay dahil ka aki akora-kora na. Aki amakara. Mas kanang amew ray pukim tuwe. Kakapayay yan kapay kain tero. Tukura kaya katawroy. Dayan amarake. Amoy bukinto. Session na yun. Sigo makakapay naku yan kapan. Tamni buwan namin na yun the session na yun. Kasi pupusigo pa ito yan. Yun araw Yesu Kristo. Araw oras kameo. Amen.
Thank you, Master Tekamau, for the prayer. Thank you all for the discussion. We thank our education director for her report and her work. And now all of you who are in favor of us accepting the motion on the floor, I ask that you please raise your cards. Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. That's carried. And to our education director, on behalf of our delegates who are here, we'd like to say a big thank you for your work, and thank you also for sharing your report with us. As we bring our meeting to a close this afternoon, I'm wondering if we can all stand. Before we stand, I'm just going to ask Pastor Karepa if he can just share with us what's next on the program, and then we will all stand and we will have a word of prayer.
Kribati, thank you, Secretary Chair. This one. Ayang kanay bugin naratin na. Apun tayo na nabere 5:30 ke. Ngaya sa pupusiya kain pikinipe warya kaitan tapong ngay kapanian na mi tay sa pupusi ma tinano dinano. Kaya yan tatay pare tatay rang katayari gi. Lukuri yon tatay tayo 5:30 ke. Yang kan mga tawro ya rete ke tinakon tera. Titivosen tayo ki sana sa katayan daw roy pa tinubuy de minisi maina toy tiran no wa sariyain saruran na marage sa karawraun minay kay ke sa kota penara si yay tirari kadiniya yaratan kay dide ka aro koy pugin ay ori ki pundi devotion tayrik kawakyan ke amrara pa kamra pa ni kan pikinebeu na mi kay tarang kangkang ingapong tawanaw tayrik jaswa nakakapayeng kami kambasan na po.
Thank you. So you notice this evening's program, we've already done the secretary's report. So I'm hoping that by the time we get here this evening, we have at least one report from the nominating committee. Yeah? Let's all be upstanding as we close with a word of prayer. Our loving Father in heaven, as we adjourn our meeting for this afternoon, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for being with us. We thank you for Adventist Christian education. We thank you for the good work that's taking amongst our early childhood centers, also at Kauma. Lord, we have, you have seen, we have lots of opportunities, but we have lots of challenges as well. And we cry out to you, Lord, because we are limited. but you are unlimited. And we ask that the recommendations that are going to the executive that's yet to be formed, that you would grant wisdom, open doors, so that our schools can flourish, Lord. Thank you so much for each head bowed here before you. In the report, we acknowledge Master Tekemau. We thank you for his life and commitment, and we pray your continual blessings upon him, Lord. Father, we also commit to you Siraro, the new incoming principal for Kauma. Lord, it's easy to look at all the challenges and get stuck. But Lord, like in Psalms 121, we lift our eyes past the hills and we focus on you, Lord. I pray your blessing on her and her team as they lead out as well. Thank you for our education director. We thank you for the good work and the report that has been shared with us. As we retire for the next few hours and